Welcome in. This is Get to Know Your District here on Morning Kickaround, where we dot the map across the American soccer landscape. Get to know some people on the ground in various new soccer locations. So, welcoming us from Florida, from the Sarasota Paradise, we have CEO and founder Marcus Walfridson. Welcome to Morning Kickaround, sir.
Thank you, Robert. Good to see you. Good to see you, Jason.
Thank you for coming by, Marcus. This is obviously part of our show, as we love talking to people behind new clubs moving up in the world. Certainly, that's the Sarasota Paradise story. So, before we get into some specifics here, things that Rob and I would love to know, paint us a picture of why you are involved in this, why you're pushing Sarasota Paradise into professional soccer in America.
Because I love the pain, I guess. No,
There you go.
well, I mean, my background is obviously from coaching at the highest level, right? So for me, I always had the American dream, always wanted to try to live in this fantastic country of ours. And I early on, I saw a gap a little bit in the how professional soccer teams in this country was run. So I figured, hey, maybe I can do that. Like, can we start a club, see how this goes, get myself into the country, and what better place on earth can you find than Paradise in Sarasota? So it was a fairly simple decision process, very short and brief, but the process to get here was longer.
I'll admit I'm a little biased. Sarasota, my favorite place in Florida, so that might shape my questioning here yet. But so you were founded in USL two. You've had success on the field there. Was it always your intention to be a professional club, or has recent announcements from USL changed your outlook on that?
No, the intent was always to go pro. That was the intent when we started. You know, the challenge here in Sarasota was there was no venue that we could play professional soccer at, and therefore we started USL League Two. So it was not until the Manatee County commissioners approved a investment in Premier Sports Campus, building locker rooms and all the things, that we could actually make the move. So as soon as that got approved, we immediately submitted the all the paperwork and got rolling, kind of thing.
That process, I mean, and obviously, like we would talk about venues a lot. We just got done talking about Union Omaha in USL League One, moving games because it's better for them.
Also,
With
beautiful stadium, by the way. Like the
okay,
Creighton Stadium, beautiful stadium. DLR did a great job designing that as well. So I love that stadium.
well, I mean,
I think that'd be a great move for him. Great move
that
for him.
is that. I mean, what is the ideal for Sarasota? I mean, obviously, you're going to go pro, and I guess you can't put the cart before the horse, Marcus. But you have, I'm sure, you have an ideal situation for your club in the future. What is the stadium's role? How do you maximize it? How do you make it a place that's special for Sarasota Paradise?
I think it's a great question because I think, you know, in our level, it is very difficult to, in general, have a financially sustainable operation, as you see across the landscape. But, you know, you can't do it unless you have the stadium piece, right? You need control of those revenue streams, you need control of the programming and stuff like that. So for us here, it's always been the intent for us to one day build our own stadium because we know we need it, we know the community needs it. You need a soccer-specific, multi-purpose venue that can hold somewhere between 5 and 7.5, probably here in Sarasota for now, that we can program year-round, right? That we can have not only our team playing in, but we can also have different events, meetings, and stuff like that to kind of make sure that we have multiple revenue streams.
Okay, so this is the stadium that you were playing at currently is the best case scenario until the future possible stadium.
Yeah, so Premier Sports Campus is beautiful, right? I mean, most people, I think, in the soccer country, in this country, in the soccer world, knows where it is because everyone's been there on a tournament. You know, we had the Nikes under 17s, whatever was there years ago now. So a lot of people have been there. A lot of cool players have played there up over the years, right? But it is a tournament facility, right? At the end of the day, you know, it's a beautiful, we're trying to make most of it. We're investing, I think, 400 grand into it just to make a better game day experience. We're putting in a big video board. We're putting in some seat backs. We're putting in field side seats, air conditioned tents, all the things so that we can make it the best possible experience. But at the end of the day, you know, it is not designed for being a professional sports venue, right? So we will do a really good job of making it become one, and it will be very, I think it will be great experience because it's so tight, so you'll be so close to the action. But then long term for our financial sustainability, and I think for the fan base as well, having that proper soccer specific multi-purpose stadium that people easily can get to. You have stuff around it, you have even a better experience. I think that is the only way.
Marcus, you talked about the finances being difficult. As I talk about a lot, I've been talking about American soccer for a long time, radio, writing about it. I'm in a room right now, my little studio in my house, that is filled with scarves and trinkets and things from clubs who don't exist anymore in
I
American
see the
soccer. They
Scorpions
came,
there. Yeah.
yeah, they came and they went, and it's sad that's a case. That's the case. I don't want that to happen anymore. I want clubs to succeed. So when you are talking about making this, it doesn't have to be a money making proposition. It just can't be a massive money losing proposition. How do you capture attention? I mean, what is the key to making sure that you're getting enough tickets sold for this to work? How does USL's role in the business of soccer at that level impact your finances? I know this is a little bit in the weeds, but can you give us a sense of that?
Well, I mean, I think you're onto something, right? I mean, at the end of the day, if we don't have people in the stands, nothing matters, right? If we don't have people there watching the games, why are we even doing it, right? At the end of the game, it's fun to play a game, but then you might as well play pickup kind of thing, right? So we do need to have people in games, and then the question is like, how do you create that environment where people are naturally drawn to the game as a center point of their weekend or their community, right? And that's where we see, super fantastic examples from Portland, Maine. They do a great job up there. Like AV Alta has kicked this off perfectly as well. Madison always does a good job. So we have these perfect examples in our own ecosystem for what you can do to really do it in a great way. Obviously, that's something that we try to emulate, right? We have maybe the toughest component in the world. We have the beaches, Siesta Key.
Yeah.
We have we literally compete against Paradise, right? So it's going to be tricky because there's so many things to choose from in terms of entertainment. And honestly, one of the biggest challenges for us, I think, is the explaining what not only professional soccer is, because that itself is we have an explanation problem sometimes, but also professional sports in general in Sarasota, because it doesn't really exist. Like we have spring ball, which is super fun for a month, right? And that's it. So there's no comprehension of having your own professional sports team and what that is and what that can mean for the community.
Let me follow up on that, right? Because again, American soccer has gone through this cycle, and obviously, it's not all thing. It's not one size fits all. Every market, every town, every community is slightly different in how they interact with this game. But I distinctly remember MLS being, oh, let's get all the families to come out and have a nice night out to watch some soccer, and we'll do a fireworks display at the end of the night, and it'll be just a way to spend the extra money you have as you entertain your children. And then suddenly MLS is like, wait a second, no, we've got these hardcore fans that would rather be treated differently. Now, I imagine Sarasota is not going to be, just with hardcore soccer fans coming out of the woodwork, ready to jump on board with Sarasota Paradise. So how do you thread the needle between we need the families, we need this atmosphere, but if we really want to build something that's going to be long lasting, we really do kind of have to tap into a latent desire for soccer fandom and passion.
No, 100%. And that's what we talk about all the time in the office. Like, how can we reach all the different demographics, right? Because there is it's important for us that we have a family entertainment option, right? That needs to be at the core of our operation because it is a family friendly environment. But then we also need the soccer fans. We need to get the passion, right? And one of the challenges I see, like being obviously from Europe, is that when I was, I can't remember, 8, 10 years, whatever, I was tiny. You pick a team, right, and that's your favorite team for the rest of your life. Like it goes up and down, whatever. You cannot, if you flip from that, you're a flip flopper. You're a lesser human being, right? If you switch teams, you can't do that.
Yep. No.
So you always have your number one loyalty, right? And I think this is something we forget sometimes when we talk about the soccer fan, is because we have all these people come from different places, Sarasota especially, like everyone almost is from somewhere else, right? The growth of Florida the last couple of years, etc. Like people moving from everywhere. Well, people have their loyalties, right, already. And in the American context, it's a lot about the only way I tend to kind of able to explain what soccer fandom is in Europe is to an American is say, how you think about your university or your college, right? Because that is the one thing that I think is the most apt likeness between the two, right? Because I'm the fan of one team in Sweden in soccer, the same team in hockey, the same team in freaking fencing. We have a lot of medals in fencing, by the
Wow.
way. Because it's the one team, right? And that's how traditionally it is, and how it's from Europe. And the same thing is true here when it comes to, if you're a Cornhusker, you're a Cornhusker and everything, right? So it's like trying to kind of finagle that in, figure that out. I think what we need to realize is that we are never going to be, for the people in our age, I think the 25 to and above kind of thing, we're never going to be the number one option off the bat. But we're not
Right.
going to be the number one loyalty. We might end up being that, right? For the younger kids, we can be it, right? We can become it in 10 years or in 5 years or whatever, right? So it is a multifaceted approach. I think we need to bring people in who love the game, right? And can have us as their favorite local team or their favorite Florida team or their favorite American team, right? But we're never going to replace Liverpool in their hearts, kind of thing, right? It's not going to happen.
Well, not just yet. Maybe over the 10 years you can fill in the heart,
Look,
because I'm a lifelong
Bob
Liverpool fan, and I
yeah.
jumped ship to my local USL 2 team after the first game.
Yeah, well, there you
I
go.
mean,
There you go.
yeah, I'm also a Liverpool fan, right? So, but as the years passed and the misery was as highest, I watched a little bit less, and then we started winning, which is ironic.
That's the journey that you go on when you pick your team. When you find yourself infatuated with this club, and I've been fascinated by that effort to connect with American soccer fans. And again, in a place like Sarasota, where, as you said, you might not be somebody's first choice in soccer, but you also are competing with big sports teams just up the road in Tampa and all these other things. So I guess let's ask the question of timeline here, Marcus. You're kicking off as a professional team in 2026. Obviously, your USL 2 experience feeds into all of this. Where are you in the process, both in terms of on the field product and getting things up and running in terms of the business?
Well, I'm in our front office now. We just moved in almost 2 months ago, I think. We're building it out and making it awesome. But we have 10-ish people here. So we're in a good spot on the business side of things. We are, as I mentioned, the improvements to the facility. We're in a good spot there. We have currently, I think we have 3 players that we signed professional contracts with. And we haven't announced anyone yet, so it will be exciting. And we have, I think, 8 offer sheets kind of thing out there. We have 10 players we're talking to. So we'll be at 15 to 18 before Christmas in terms of the professional part of it. I mean, we are one of the few. I don't know if any other USL team actually has employed, but we have employed a sheet scout for the simple reason that time is limited, I guess, but also obviously the recruitment part of it, but also when the season starts later, we want to help build these players' careers. So in order for us to become a pathway to Europe, we need someone to help us help players take the next step.
Well, one of the big the building blocks from amateur to professional is you got a technical director and new coach in the house. How does the hire of Mika Avara help in this process?
I mean, Mika is a fantastic guy, first of all, right? So, and he knows the game in and out. He's one of the biggest surprises. I mean, I know him a couple of years, and we kind of just talked about the game. And then when this all of a sudden came up, we're like, okay, I need to talk to Richmond here to let them talk, let them allow them to for me to talk to him. But one of the biggest, actually, positive surprises for me is when we announced this hire, all of a sudden we have players from USL Championship reaching out. Hey, I want to play for you. I want to play for you. So that tells you a little bit about him as a coach and him as a person. So he's the perfect guy. I think he has a range that is a little bit larger than most coaches in terms of his ability to not only be a great coach on the field, focus on winning, but also developing the entire club, because that's what we need help with. We need to build a club from scratch here. We have the professional team. We're looking to have an under 20 team coming next year to participate in the USL Academy. league, but also we do need more options for the younger kids, and we need to build that pathway. And then some of that will go through us. Some of it will go through the great work from all the clubs are in our area. But we need someone who understands this and can kind of help building that and make that into fruition, right? So that's why he is super helpful. And yeah, no, he's a great dude and a great coach. Those two things are important.
I got another question that isn't about the on-field soccer, but I do think it's interesting because we are again talking to all these different people. We were just last week talking about Fort Wayne deciding to change their badge, change their colors after their stint in USL 2, knowing that they're always going to go pro. You said you also always had that plan. You're sticking with your identity. What's the thinking behind that?
So, when we launched our brand, we launched it as a professional brand. Right. And I think, when you look at it, you fall in love. I think it represents our community in the perfect way. It doesn't exclude anyone or anything. And that's why we're sticking with it. And it was always the intent. It was always, I think, because Fort Wayne launched 4 years earlier, I think it was, or something like that. The end of it was 2018, 2019, whatever. And for us, we launched in 23, it's 2 years ago, right? It's not that long ago. And the intent was always that this is going to be the League One brand. So that was always the intent. So that's why we're sticking with it. Now we are updating it. It's an evolution. All brands go through an evolution. So you'll see some really cool, I would say, details and things pop up this year. Especially our jerseys will look really cool.
Oh, that's a good tease there. So Sarasota Paradise fans, some player news to come, and then a possible retouching of the branding there. So exciting stuff happening in Sarasota, Florida. Marcus Walfridson, CEO and founder of Sarasota Paradise, thank you for giving us the details there on Morning Kickaround.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much.